وقل رب زدني علما.
The next hadith in that case is the hadith of Hafsa المؤمنين رضي الله عنها عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من لم يبيت الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له. That whomsoever does not make his intention the night before Fajr, then there is no fast for him. That to fast, you have to have made your intention the night before Fajr. That's what this hadith says. Take note though, the very next hadith, the hadith of Aisha radiyallahu anha, it says: دخل علي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم فقال: هل عندكم شيء؟ قلنا لا. قال: فإني إذن صائم. ثم أتانا يوما آخر فقلنا: أهدي إلينا حيث، فقال: أرينيه فلقد أصبحت صائما فأكلا. In the hadith of Aisha in Muslim, it mentions, she says that one day the Prophet ﷺ came home during the day, middle of the day at some time. He came back home during the day and he said, do you have anything, any food? Is there any food at home? Do we have anything to eat? So Aisha mentions, we said no. We actually have nothing in the house to eat. There is no food. So the Prophet ﷺ said, in that case, I'm just going to fast for the day. Then another time, the same happened. He came home and Aisha said, we've been gifted some hais, a type of food. So the Prophet ﷺ says, show me, because I'm fasting today. So when he was shown it, he liked it, and so he opened his fast in the middle of the day. It's the first part of the hadith that we want from here. One day the Prophet ﷺ came home, asked, is there anything to eat? They said, actually nothing in the house. He said, in that case, I'm going to call it a fast for the day. Which shows that before coming home, the Prophet ﷺ didn't have an intention about fasting. He came home wanting to eat, but there was no food. So he said, since he hadn't eaten anything since Fajr anyway, he said, okay, in that case, if there is no food anyway, I'm just going to make it a fast for the day. So he made his intention not before Fajr, but in the middle of the day. In the first hadith of Hafsa, though, it said, whoever doesn't make their intention before Fajr, there is no fast for that person. So how do we understand these two narrations? There are two types of overall fasting: obligatory fasting and supererogatory fasting. Obligatory and optional. The first hadith is talking about the obligatory fasting, like Ramadan. Because in obligatory fasts, you have to make your intention from the night before, from before Fajr. Whereas the second hadith is talking about optional fasts. For an optional fast, you could make your intention in the middle of the day. Imagine you just hadn't eaten or drunk or anything since Fajr anyway, and it got to Dhuhr time, Asr time, and you decide, all day I've not eaten or drunk anything, it's a few hours left till Maghrib, let me just make the intention for fasting today then. And you can carry on and open it at Maghrib, and you'll get the reward for the amount of time you made your intention for the fasting. So that's for optional fasts. You can't do that for Ramadan fasts, for obligatory fasts. For obligatory fasting, you have to make your intention the night before. Some scholars, they say in Ramadan, every night you have to have that intention for the fast tomorrow. Every night you have to have the intention that tomorrow you're going to fast the next day of Ramadan, every night as you go along Ramadan. Other scholars, they say actually at the beginning of the month of Ramadan on the first night, obviously your intention is going to be that you're going to fast the whole month of Ramadan. That's what your intention is going to be the night before Ramadan begins. So they say that one intention covers you for whole of Ramadan. Obviously the night before Ramadan, you make your intention, I'm going to be fasting now for the next month. So they say that intention, that's enough, it covers you for the whole of the month. Others, they say no, every night you need to have the intention. But even having the intention every night, it doesn't necessitate that every night you have to have a moment where you stop and you think to yourself, I'm going to fast tomorrow, make that intention. It doesn't necessitate that. Your very actions indicate your intention anyway. Every night when you put on your alarm to wake up in the morning before Fajr, why are you putting on your alarm? Because you have the intention to fast. Every night when you come back from Taraweeh and you quickly want to get some rest or you prepare your food for the morning, you're doing all of that because you have the intention to fast. So that is the point. You have to have that intention in your mind for Ramadan, for the next day of fasting every night. You have to have that throughout the month that you're fasting every day. Whereas supererogatory optional fasts, it's not necessary to have to make the intention from the beginning of the day. If in the middle of the day you decided I haven't eaten or drunk or anything all day, let me just make the intention for a fast today and carry on till Maghrib, you can do that and it will count as an optional fast. But you can't do that with Ramadan. So imagine you had some days left to make up from Ramadan, and one day it just so happens you get to Asr, you haven't eaten, drunk anything all day, and you think to yourself, there's only a few hours left till Maghrib now, and I got a day left to make up, let me just make the intention for that day then. That won't count, because that making up of Ramadan is an obligatory fast. You have to have made the intention right from Fajr. That is the difference in the intentions.